that one. There we go. I was recording in the wrong place. All right, this week we're going to do geometry. And geometry is good because it's totally different from the other stuff we've been doing. This could be the first thing we did in class, and it would be the same as doing it the last week. It's not really connected to the other stuff we've done. Maybe a little bit. So the good thing is, even if you've been struggling so far, work hard on this week, and then just getting this stuff, there'll probably be a few questions on the ASVAB you'll get right because of it. So geometry is studying and thinking about shapes and thinking about lines. So we have lines. There's a line segment. Here's a line, and lines can make shapes. Here's some kind of shape, some kind of quadrilateral. Here's a triangle. That's not really a line. Oh, that's supposed to be a circle. That's really ugly, isn't it? That circle's mother doesn't even love it. It's so ugly. There we go. That's a bit better of a circle. We can have rectangles. We can have all kinds of things. So we've got our lines. Now, what happens when two lines come together at a point like this? This is called an angle. And I'm gonna ask you something like how we measure something. So for example, I'm going to say weight, and you might say pounds. I'm gonna say length, and you might say like miles or inches. I want you to just say something. You can type it. Please don't be awkward, not say anything. Then it's like just really awkward. Then I'm just like talking without anyone talking back. So if you want to measure temperature, how do you measure temperature? Oh no, is it going to be awkward? Can anyone tell me how you measure temperature? What we call what you use to describe temperature? You can type it in the chat. You can make it a private DM if you want. Thermometer. Someone said thermometer, but what does the thermometer measure? It measures like degrees. What about time? What do we call like a unit of time? What do you use to measure time? Anybody? You can measure time in seconds. You can measure, or minutes. Yeah, you can measure length in like inches and meters and centimeters and miles and light years. You can measure length all kinds of ways. You can measure weight in kilograms or pounds or ounces. You can measure volume in cups or liters. There are all different ways to measure things. And angles have to be measured as well. So angles are measured in degrees. And degrees work like this. So let's say we have this angle. We're going to say this is 1 degree. Now, if we have 360 of those, oh my, that's supposed to be a circle, but it's very ugly. If we have 360 of those angles, we'll get 360 degrees, and that goes around an entire circle. So we've got several different kinds of angles. So first kind of angle we're going to have is an acute angle. Acute angle. And how you can remember these are small is like they're a little cute angle. So they go from 1 degree to 89 degrees. Then we have a special kind of angle, a right angle. And that is 90 degrees. And they'll be signified. You'll be able to tell it's a 90 degree because it'll have the angle and then it'll have that little box inside it. Talk about obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is something like this. It's from 91 degrees to 179 degrees. Finally, let's do a straight angle. So a straight angle is 180 degrees. You might just call it a straight line, which is not technically right from a mathematical standpoint, but I'm fine if you call it a straight line. So these are the different kinds of angles. Now they're going to have different measurements in those ranges. Like an acute angle could be 3 degrees or it could be 33. An obtuse angle could be 100 degrees or it could be 178 degrees.
Hey, Eli.
Yeah.
So for the obtuse angle, it says 91 degrees to what? What is that number?
Oh yeah, my handwriting's pretty bad, isn't it? It's 179. And technically, it's an angle that's greater than 90 and less than 180. So it could be like 90.1 and 179.9. I'm just doing 91 to 179 to make it simpler. All right, if that works. Good question. So we can measure the angles like that with the degrees. Now, the type of problem you're going to get is called measurement of a missing angle. I don't know why I love writing in all caps today. It's like I'm yelling with my mouth. Measurement of a missing angle, but I'm not yelling. I'm feeling pretty good. So first, let's talk about right angles. Pretend this is a right angle. I'm doing that little square now. It is. Now, right angle always equals 90 degrees. Always adds up to 90 degrees. Now, what this means is if we have a right angle, we can have two angles inside it. And if we know how big one angle is, I'm going to call this angle X, we'll be able to know how big the other is. Because we can say 90 degrees minus 45 degrees, and here equals 45 degrees. So this angle is 45 degrees. Let me work another one. So let's say I have this angle, this right angle, and I know this is 70 degrees. What's angle Y, the missing angle? Well, I can say 90 degrees minus 70 degrees equals 20 degrees. Now I'm going to have you all work one. I want you to put your answer in the private chat. I'm going to draw this angle. Then I'm going to draw this angle here. This is 5 degrees. So what is angle X? So put your answer in the private chat. What is angle X? All right, I got 2 answers. See if I can get some more. Got 3 answers. Any more answers in the private chat? All right. So here we have 90 degrees, and we're going to subtract 5 degrees from it because we know this one. And so that is going, oh, I did the wrong answer. That is going to equal 85 degrees. 90 minus 5 is 85. Let's try this one. 30 degrees, angle Y. This is a right angle. So someone tell me what the measure of angle Y is. Got some different answers coming in. All right. So we have 90 minus 30 going to equal 60 degrees. One last right angle one. Let's say we have this angle is 10 degrees. Let's say we have this angle is 40 degrees. What is angle X? So we've got a right angle with three angles here. We know two of them, 40 and 10. What does that make angle X? All right, got some answers coming in. All right, so here we have 90 degrees, and then we've got to subtract 2. We've got to subtract 10 degrees and subtract 40 degrees. Oh, stopped writing. And when we do that, we get 90 minus 10 is 80, minus 40 is 40 degrees. So now we're going to do straight angle. And I'm going to work an example problem. Here we have 80 degrees. What is angle X? Well, we have to do 100 degrees minus 80 degrees equals 100 degrees. Now we have to do 180 degrees is what we're subtracting from, because all of them are, because that's what all of them are going to add up to. Let's try this one. Why don't you all try this one? How about 30 degrees? And angle Y. All right, I got some answers coming in. Here we have 180 degrees minus 30 degrees equals 150 degrees. Good, good, good. Lots of right answers coming in. I'm going to give you two more with the straight angle. Here we have 90 degrees. What's the missing angle? We'll call it Y. All right, we've got a bunch. Got 4 answers. All right, so here we've got 180 minus 90 is 90 degrees. All righty. Let's do one more problem. Now I'm going to have a straight angle. And then this one is going to be 20 degrees. All right. Y'all are on this fast, and y'all are like fast with these now. All right, we got a lot of different answers coming in. All right. Here we have 180 minus 90, because this is 90 degrees. It's going to be 90 degrees. Then we have 90 degrees minus 20 degrees is 70 degrees. All right. Let's do a different one now. Now we're going to look at interior angles. What does interior angles mean? Think interior design. You're doing stuff to the inside of your house. Interior angles, we're thinking about the inside of a shape. All right. So let's take a triangle. And here's a rule for you to write down and remember. Interior angles of a triangle always equal 180 degrees. So for example, if this triangle has a 60-degree angle and a 60-degree angle, then 180 minus 60 is going to be 120, minus 60 going to be 60. So this other angle is 60 degrees. At the same time, interior angles of a quadrilateral. Oh boy, there's a big word, quadrilateral. Quadrilateral, and that means 4 sides equal 360 degrees. So let's say you have this rectangle, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and I want to know what this one is. Then 360 minus 90 is 270, minus 90 is 180, minus 90 is 90. So this missing one is 90 degrees. So here's a problem for you. Let's say I have this triangle. And this is 1 degree. And this is 1 degree. What is this angle? And unfortunately, we're going to speed up a little bit to get through all of it. All right, got one answer in. Okay. So I'll work a little more with these. I think I need to. So here we have the total sum of a triangle's angles are 180 degrees. So we subtract 1 degree because there's 1 degree, we get 179 degrees. Then we subtract 1 degree again, and it's 178 degrees. Hey Jose, how are you?
Good.
I can't like do a full recap, but I'll try to explain things as I go. Let me mark that you're in here.
Yeah, I just got home from work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a hard worker, my guy. So triangles angles are always going to equal are always going to equal 180 degrees. So what about this triangle? I want to know angle X. Now I want you all to try to solve this and do it. Give me private messages with what you think it is. Remember, the sum is 180 degrees of a triangle. We get all kinds of answers. All right. So we've got 180 degrees minus 90 degrees. That means 90 degrees. That leaves us with 90 degrees. Then here we've got 45 degrees. So we just subtract 45 degrees from that. And we get 45 degrees for our answer. All right. One more. We're going to try to find the angles of quadrilateral. All right, I want you to try to find angle X. Remember, quadrilateral angles always equal 360 degrees when they add up. All right, so someone made a comment in the private chat. Is this 150 degrees because this one is 50 degrees? Actually, the answer is yes. Mathematically, that's correct. But So that works if you find it that way. But the other way to find it is to know that they all add up to 360 degrees, so you can subtract the ones we have. So we get rid of that one. Now let's get rid of this one. And we get 100. And now let's get rid of this one and we get 50. So that's 50 degrees. So it works, but it works for different reasons. Now I've got 3 types of triangles for you. Equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. So equilateral triangle, same side length. So all the sides are going to be equal. You can kind of hear that in the name, equilateral, equal. Isosceles is going to have 2 sides, same length. And finally, scalene is going to have no sides, same length. There would be an example of a scalene triangle. All right, now let's talk about something called perimeter. So perimeter, and I just realized I have some nice shapes here. Perimeter is when we want to know the distance around something. So a lot of times how they'll do the word problems here is they'll talk about a farmer wanting to fence in his fields. So let's pretend he has a field that's 10 feet long and 5 feet wide. And he wants to know how much fence he has to get. Well, this side's also 10, and this side is also 5. So you have to add 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5 is 30. So that's how you find perimeter. You have to add up all the sides. So now why don't you all, let's pretend we're watching wrestling or something, and we've got an octagon. So it has 8 sides, and each side of the octagon is 8 feet long. What is the perimeter of the octagon? And perimeter is the distance around something, remember that. So why don't you all try to give me that answer? All right, the perimeter all the way around is 8 plus 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 8 is 64. Or you can just say 8 times 8 is 64. Now let's talk about a funny kind of perimeter, because perimeter is just going around something. Let's talk about the perimeter of a circle, the distance around a circle. Now, first, I'm going to tell you about some terms about circles. Oh no, I drew that really badly. The first word I want you to learn is the radius. This is if you go to the middle of the circle and then you make a line to the edge. The other is the diameter. This is if you go from one edge of the circle to the other, going through the middle. So radius times 2 equals diameter. 2 of the radii equal 1 diameter. So the way we figure out the distance around a circle, and that is called circumference, So they're not going to say perimeter, they're going to say circumference. So the distance around is called circumference. The way we figure that out is we have a formula. C equals diameter times pi. Now pi is a number. It goes on for a long, long way. It starts off with 3.14. You can just leave pi there generally. So let's say I ask you for the circumference of this circle with a diameter of 2. The circumference will be the circumference equals 2 times pi. It will be 2 pi. Now I'm going to ask you a question. What is the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 4? Why don't you all try to write that in the private chat, and you can write pi for pi. All right, getting a lot of right answers. Now let's say we have a circle with a radius of 3. The radius is 3. What is the circumference? The radius is 3. All right, we've got several answers. Now here, the radius is 3. R equals 3. But remember, diameter equals 2 times the radius. So the diameter equals 6. So circumference equals 6 pi. That's a bit harder, but that you all are doing okay. So let's look at this next topic, area. Now let's say we want to find the area of something. Area would be all this fill in. We want to see how much space it covers. So area equals length times width. So here, let's say it's 10 feet long and 5 feet wide. The area is 10 times 5 is 50 feet squared. And we always write squared for area. And I'm not going to do as many example problems per minute until I get to the end because I want to make sure we get all the material. So that's, or like as many problems for you to try. So that's area of like a rectangle, length times width. Area, excuse me, of a triangle. The area equals 1/2 times the base times the height. So let's say we have this triangle. The base is 5. The height is 4. So area equals 1/2 times base is 5 times height is 4. So area equals 1/2 times 20 is equal to 10. 10, I'm going to call these inches squared. I'll make these inches here. So the area is 10 inches squared. Let's do area of a circle. This is a hard one. Area of a circle. This has its own formula. Area equals pi r squared. So let's say we have a circle with a radius of 2. The area equals pi times 2 squared. The area equals pi times 4. And how you normally write that is area equals 4 pi. Let's say we have a circle with a radius of 6. Area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi 6 squared. Area equals 36 pi. And one way you can remember area equals pi r squared for circles is that you can say to yourself, pi aren't square, they're round. It might be a little pun that helps you remember. So now why don't you try this one? What is the area of a circle with a radius of, let's say 7? What is the area of a circle with a radius of 7? I got several answers. All right, we got some answers. So here the area is equal to pi r squared. Area equals pi times 7 squared. 7 times 7 is 49. So area equals 49 pi. All right, let's do volume. Volume's a funky one. Volume is how much space you can fill. How much space can you fill? In the real world, some examples of volume might be gallons or cups or liters, stuff like that. All different kinds of examples. So let's say we have the way we do volume, the formula for volume is length times width times height. I'm going to write that out. Length times width times height. So let's say we have a rectangular prism that is 4, 5, 4 long, 5 wide, and we're gonna say 3 high. Oh, that line didn't connect. So kind of ugly. So we'll say 4 times 5 times 3. We're gonna measure this in meters. Is 60 meters cubed, and volume is always done cubed. That means it's volume. So that's how we do volume. Now let's think about how we can do surface area. Surface area. Surface area is like area, but for 3D. And what do I mean for 3D? It means it's in 3D and you got to add up every side. So I'm going to write that here. Add up every side. All right, add up every side. So let's say we have this same shape. Try to draw it better this time. Look at that. I think I did better. We've got it 5, 4, and 3. I think that's what I had it earlier. I had it the other way around. That's fine. Now to find the surface area, we've got to find the area of each side. And remember, area equals length times width. And then we've got to add all those sides together. So let's look at the 5 by 4 sides. That's on the bottom and the top. So 5 times 4 equals 20. And we have to do that twice. So we get 40. Then let's do the 4 times 3 sides. Those are the two insides. 4 times 3 equals 12. 4 times 3 equals 12. And that equals 24. Now finally, let's do the 3 times 5, the long sides. 3 times 5 equals 15. 3 times 5 equals 15. You get 30. And now finally, we have to add them all up. 30 plus 24 plus 40 is 94. And that will be inches squared. Surface area is always going to be squared. Last concept that's like a new concept, and sorry I'm running through these. I'm just trying to make sure we get all, like you see it all, and then you can go back and watch on YouTube, is Pythagorean theorem. The most challenging thing we'll do in geometry. Pythagorean theorem. This is when we have a right triangle. So right triangle, we're going to call this side A, this side B, and this side C. We can say A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So it involves a lot of square roots and stuff like that. So say we have this triangle. Oh, that is, I gotta erase that. That's, even though I'm short on time, I can't let that triangle be. That's too bad. Oh, I was trying to make this a right triangle, but it's gonna, oh wow. Let me see. I don't think I can do that. I thought I was gonna make it a right triangle. I'm just gonna move it out of the way. I don't know how to delete it. All right. Here's a right triangle. So this leg is 3. This leg is 4. What is this leg? The hypotenuse. Well, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared is 3. A is 3. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. So 9 plus 16 equals C squared. We have 25 equals C squared. So C equals 5 because 5 times 5 equals 25. All right, that's all the new material. Now let's spend the last 2 minutes. Let's do a practice problem. I want you to do this one. Find the area of a circle with a radius of 5 centimeters. All right, that shouldn't be a question mark. So what is the radius of a circle, the area of a circle with a radius of 5 centimeters? look back at your notes after a minute, I'm going to put the formula up for you. You can put your answers in the private chat when you're ready. And I'm going to draw a shape for the next problem. All right, I've got two answers in the chat. I'm going to write the formula. Area equals pi r squared. Yes, if you just asked me if you did it right, you did it right. Good job. All right. We'll give it a minute. Area equals pi 5 squared. Area equals 25 pi. Now I know we're at time. We have 15 seconds left, but I hope you'll stay on and do this last problem. I think we got started a little late. We didn't have everyone on. So this question I have for you. And pretend these are like numbered A, B, C, D. What is the perimeter? All right, so here's my question for you. What is the perimeter of this shape? I'm actually going to start a poll. What is the perimeter of this shape? And as I ask that, I'm going to erase it a little bit and try to make it a bit, let me make it better lines. Well, that was kind of better lines. All right, so what is the perimeter of this shape? So let's see your answers in the quiz, in the poll. All right, I got one answer. I'm gonna work it because we're at 5 minutes over. So here we've got this shape, and for perimeter, we add all the sides. Perimeter. Add all sides. However, we don't know this side. We don't know this side, but we can know this side. You know how? This side and this side together equal 8. So that means this must be 3 feet. And this side plus this side equal this side, which means it must be 8 feet. So now we have the sides. So we have 8 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 8. And how I do these when I have a lot of them is I do this 12, 7, 13, 20, 32. The answer should be A, 32 feet. All right. Thank you for coming and working.